the short hallway into the back of the house. I went as fast as I could to the fireplace room, where I left my doll and my book. I grabbed those, ignoring the protest from everyone to take the boots off in the house, and went as fast as I could back to the barn through the back entrance. But when I got back, she was gone. She was no longer on her bed of hay. I searched the barn, and I couldn't find her. I sank down on my knees near the hay and began crying. I had lost her. She was alone and scared and probably ran off. I had failed my father. But then I heard a rustling in the hay beside me. I looked, and I saw what appeared to be a shape of the hay moving, but it wasn't the hay. Slowly, that shape began to fill in the fur and look of the girl creature until she was back on the bed of hay, looking wide eyed at me. I was amazed at what I saw. Wow, I said, is that the way you hide from bad things? She nodded back. Then she glanced at what I had brought from the house. I held out the doll to her. Here, this is for you, I said. She looked curiously at the doll, sniffing at it, then slowly reaching for it. She finally took it from me, looked it up and down, and then finally held it close to her, like she was hugging it. I then held up the book and said, "This is my book, which I'm going to read to you." I then opened it and began to tell her the tale contained within, the story of old Ebenezer and the night he was visited by four ghosts to learn the true meaning of Christmas. I itch. It was a story I knew well. Great Ma would read it to us every Christmas Eve since even before I was born. I may have even heard it while still in my mother's womb. And no other telling of that story, either read or recreated in a play or film, has come close to how Great Ma made the story come alive for all of us. Well, for me anyway. I had gotten to the middle of the book, Great Ma continued, when from outside of the barn I could hear dogs barking. It wasn't our family dog. There were maybe two of them out there. Then, following that, I heard voices, human voices, none of them belonging to any of my family, shouting at the dogs and each other. They were speaking English, but they sounded vaguely French. The voices stopped at the big doors of the barn. Then came a loud banging on those doors, followed by one of the men outside shouting, "Open up! I know it's in there." My father came bursting through the back door entrance, wearing only his long johns, his boots, and coat, carrying his rifle with him. He glanced quickly at us to make sure we were still